Okay, y'all, so it's 67 degrees outside, but in a couple of hours, well, I say a couple of hours, by this evening, it's apparently supposed to be about 18 degrees. So that's probably what all this wind and everything around us is, and we're going to go ahead and get prepared. I've already had a couple cups of coffee, but we're going to make a blended, like, little coffee treat. Okay, y'all, so the temperature is dropping like we were expecting, so we're getting some yummy warm soup going so that we'll have something warm in our bellies whenever we're all cold. We've got about 2 tablespoons of butter melting down in the bottom of our pan, and we're going to add in some veggies. Today we're going to be making our next day soup or after boil soup, whichever you prefer to call it, but it's basically if you've had a crawfish boil or a shrimp boil recently and you have leftover food, this is a way to use it up and turn it into something new and super yummy. So I just added about a tablespoon of minced garlic down in with the butter, and I'm going to add in 2 cups of veggie blend. Now you can, if you don't have the, or seasoning blend I should say, if you don't have the seasoning blend, just about 2 stalks of celery, a medium onion, and a couple of bell peppers, and you'll be good. And I do have some celery and some onions down in my potatoes and stuff from the shrimp boil, but I just figured I'd go ahead and throw all of this in and get it going. So we're going to let that melt down so that y'all can see it's still frozen, and saute for about 10 minutes while we prep the rest of the stuff from the shrimp boil. Okay, now that our veggies have softened, we're going to add in a little bit more butter and some flour and make a roux. Now I added in my butter, and I'm going to just push these veggies out to the side so that can kind of melt down in there. Once the butter's melted, we'll mix the roux all in with it together. We're going to add in about a half a cup of flour into the pan, and we just want to cook this on medium heat until it's like a light brown color. Alright, y'all, this is looking pretty good. So next we're just going to stir in 4 cups of water. If you don't have bouillon or chicken base, then use chicken broth. But I'm using the water, and then I'm going to add in some bouillon to get that chicken flavor. But the point is we're trying to make about 4 cups of chicken broth. Stir it in slowly, that way you don't end up with a clumpy mess. It doesn't kind of seize up your flour. But just kind of make it nice and creamy, and then add a little bit more. While you're doing this, you want to try and scrape up those little bits that it made on the bottom of the pan. Those are good flavor bits. You don't want to get rid of those. You want those in your soup. So now that we have that water all mixed in, we mixed it in nice and slow, we're going to add in our chicken bouillon or chicken base, whatever you're using to make it a chicken broth. And I'm just going to let that dissolve down in, and we're going to let this simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes just till the bouillon is incorporated, and then we're going to come back and add all of our really fun ingredients. Okay, y'all, so I lost you at some point, but we added in a pint of heavy cream, a quart of half and half, about 6 ears of corn that we just cut the corn off the cob, a pound and a half of potatoes that were boiled in our shrimp boil, a cup and a half of carrots, our shrimp, our sausage, the celery pieces that were from our shrimp boil. The main thing that I want, and our 2 cans of cream of mushroom. The main thing I wanted to tell y'all is we're turning it back up to a medium heat, and then just so we can get it all heated through, and then once it starts to simmer, we're going to turn it down to low and let it simmer for about 30 minutes. After then, we'll come back and taste test it, see if we need to add any more salt or any Tony Chachere's, any kind of seasoning like that, because every shrimp or crawfish boil is going to be a little bit different. It really depends on how spicy you made it from the beginning, how much seasoning you'll need to add. Sometimes we don't have to add anything. It's perfectly seasoned already. So, we're just going to let this come up to a little simmer, and once it does, we'll turn the temp all the way down to low and let it simmer for another 30 minutes. We don't get snow much in Texas. Hi, Thatcher.
Mommy, can we make any snowballs?
No, not yet. You can try.
You can help me.
That's a dirt ball.
Mommy, it's so fun out here. Look out!
Let's go.
Let's go back.
Okay, come on.
Let Grandpa do this. Let Grandpa.
Beautiful.